Good evening. Welcome, Honorable Minister Ms. Scindia and honorable guests. I'm delighted to welcome you all to the 11th edition of Business Today Mindrush. This is our flagship event. As you may know, Business Today was launched 31 years ago when Indian business was just coming out of its license Raj shell. Much has changed since then. Today, we have many world-class companies in the country, and the heads of many of them are amongst us today. Also, we have the third largest ecosystem of startups in the world. India is basically a country of entrepreneurs, from street sellers to multinational companies. Thank you, Mr. Scindia, for finding time for us from your busy schedule. I also welcome with great pleasure all the winners of the Business Today PwC Best CEO Awards and the jury members led by Ajay Piramal, Chairman of the Piramal Group, who provided deep wisdom and inputs needed to select winners from a closely fought field of nominations. With apologies to Mr. Scindia, the winners who stand here today do say, do, do so having faced heavy odds. It is still not easy to conduct business in India, whatever the rankings may say. People who work on the front line know better. Don't get me wrong, a lot has changed, but we have a long way to go to have an environment that is friendly to business and one that recognizes that our entrepreneurs are one of the most valuable assets of our country. I just want to say about our Indian CEOs abroad. Why do they succeed? I believe there are four reasons why a multitude of Indians are heading major companies abroad. The first is we are brought up in an environment of uncertainty. We don't even know when basics like power and water when they will vanish. We know how to deal with unpredictability. Second, we live in a multicultural society, at least so far. This makes us more adaptable to new cultures. Third is that our joint family traditions and our web of relatives, we know how to manage relationships, which is so important in business today. And the fourth, of course, is hard work. Because of the high degree of competition and getting into good institutions, we're used to working very hard. Not to mention our wonderful Indian parents who browbeat us to do well. All these qualities are there in spades for CEOs who work in India. They succeed in a much more difficult environment than most countries. Kudos to all of you. The challenges you face here, I don't think exist anywhere else. For example, try and wrap your head around the regulatory landscape that CEOs have to deal with every day. An analysis done by Observer Research Foundation says that the Indian regulatory landscape has 1,536 laws, of which 678 at the central level and the remaining at the state levels. These laws encompass a web of 69,233 compliances. The report says that these compliances need to be communicated to the government through 6,618 annual filings, of which 2,282 are at the union level and 4,336 at the state level. Of course, all compliances don't apply to every company, but that doesn't mean the load is any less. In addition, these laws and regulations continue to get updated and tweaked on a regular basis. According to the ORF, there were 11,043 changes in the 3 years to 31st December to 2021. Non-compliance with many of these laws and regulations can also send company CEOs behind bars. More than half the 1,536 laws carry imprisonment clauses. Almost 2 of every 5 compliances can send a CEO to jail in case of violations. God forbid if you're ever caught under PMLA, in which the law is so loosely drafted that you can drive a truck through it. Almost every transaction can be classified as such. It is true that government is seized by the seriousness of the matter and why such monstrous laws hinder the ease of doing business. The Jan Viswas Bill, which was presented in Parliament in December 2022 and is yet to get operational, seeks to decriminalize several minor offences in 42 laws administered by 19 ministries. But this is still a drop in the ocean. I must say, one of the great handicaps of operating in India has been infrastructure, which this government is doing a great job in addressing at a very rapid rate. When you see the winners of the BT Best CEO Awards that are here tonight and read their stories, you must remember that they have achieved what they have in the backdrop of these near impossible challenges. It is therefore with nothing but pride and admiration that I welcome again the winners and contenders of the BT-PwC Best CEO Awards here tonight. A big round of applause, please, for these champions. Hopefully, Mr. Scindia's presence here tonight will help propel faster change in simplification of business, laws and regulations and help corporate India to fly. Dynamic, grounded and visionary, Mr. Scindia has initiated several moves in his ministries of aviation and steel to make them world beaters. Now, Mr. Scindia, I would request you to come on stage and give the awards to these champions of business. Thank you.
Editor Business Today, Mr. Saurabh Majumdar, could you please come on stage? Mr. Nandan Nilenkani, Mr. N. Chandrasekharan, and Amar Sinha. Could we please have all of you all on stage for this very special moment? Business Today, we call it the Business Today Multiverse. Can we have the magazines, please? The showstopper of the evening, India's Best CEO special issue. Special moment to have Mr. N. Chandrasekharan on stage and on the cover of the Business Today special Best CEO issue. Thank you so much, gentlemen. This is an historic moment for Business Today and for India Inc. Now, I'd like to request Mr. Purie and Honorable Minister, Mr. Scindia, to also stay back while everyone takes their seats for the moment everyone's been waiting for, which is the Best CEO Awards. Now, let's start off with a very special one. And spoiler alert, it was one of our most special sessions through the course of the day. The BT Best CEO Award Lifetime Achievement Award goes to none other than Nandan Nilenkani, co-founder and chairman at Infosys. Nandan Nilenkani has had a storied career in the Indian IT industry and the government. The co-founder of the IT bellwether Infosys went on to create the ubiquitous Aadhaar identification for all Indians and returned to the helm of Infosys. integrated cargo logistics players in the world. His ability to be consistent, competitive, strategy-led and detail-oriented are key contributors to the company's success. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Mr. Shashi Kiran Sethi, Best CEO in the Transportation and Logistics category. The next award is the BT Best CEO in the Auto and Ancillaries category, and it goes to Sanjay Kaul, CMD.